we have Rachie00000, lots of zeros, I guess, on the channel to talk about the shape of the Earth and gravity and stuff like that. So, Rachie, why don't you say hello?
Hello, everyone. I'm Rachie00000.
Yeah, I only put 4, so I'm sorry, but, you know, 1 0 is the same as 5 at the end of the day. So, you think the Earth is flat, yes?
Yes,
Would you mind just explaining briefly why you have come to that conclusion?
because there's no evidence of a rotating, spinning space ball.
No evidence, like none at all.
Nope.
I mean, all the measurements and, you know, experiments and observations and none of that is evidence.
Well, would you agree something can look like something, but is really not that what it looks like?
Well, that's why you do experiments, to test things, isn't it?
Yeah, but sometimes those experiments might not be conclusive and might actually give you a different result to what is actually reality.
No experiments can't give you different results to reality. That's why we have experiments in science to determine whether a hypothesis is, you know, holds up or not. And there is no experiments that would demonstrate that the flat Earth is a thing. In fact, all experiments, when you try to give two hypotheses, one being flat, one being a globe, always show up as a globe. I've never seen a single experiment that would give the conclusion that the Earth is anything other than a rotating globe.
But it depends what you determine as an experiment, isn't it? Like a lot of the things you
Well, I
think
let
is
science
an
do that,
experiment.
really.
Yes, but a lot of the things that you think is an experiment isn't. For example, an auto level or a theodolite, that's not an experiment. That is an optical device that shows you optical things. It's not
I don't
an
think anyone has
experiment.
ever said that an auto level or theodolite is an experiment. It's a piece of equipment that can be used in an experiment.
So it's not an experiment, so therefore not conclusive.
No, but it's a piece of equipment that can be used in an experiment.
Which can be, what's the word I'm after? Can be manipulated, for lack of a better word, by optical illusions.
By optical illusions, I'm assuming you mean refraction, yes?
Optical illusions, like there can be different types of optical illusions, not just refraction, and it depends what you mean by refraction.
Well, any kind of optical illusion or refraction or distortion of the atmosphere has already been quantified, and we know what the the manipulations of the atmosphere do to the path of light. So those things have also been experimented on, and come to the conclusion that we understand how they operate, which is why we're able to take accurate measurements, because we can rely on the experiments that have been done before to conclusively show one thing or the other. So there isn't any optical illusions as such. It's just distortions to light that we understand how they work. There is so many experiments that demonstrate that the Earth is a globe. A lot of the ones involving gravity, because if gravity is real, then the Earth's a globe. And that really ends the argument, because no matter what Anthony Riley likes to say,
I'm a dumb flat earther, and I don't understand science.
Gravity is real and relative density disequilibrium is a bunch of fucking nonsense.
Relative density disequilibrium explains it a lot better than gravity.
Not in the slightest. Not in the
100%.
slightest. No, not in the slightest. It has no explanation for anything without making assumptions that there is just a universal down for some reason.
A few moments later.
You flip the script there. We'll stick with the relative density disequilibrium before you go on to trying to disprove gravity. And using just relative density disequilibrium, explain to me why the densities originally arranged themselves in that order.
Again, it's about structural support.
Why does it not have it the other way? Why is it trying to go down? Why, if something is more dense than something else, does it try to go down and not the other way?
It doesn't try to go down, it depends on the relative density, but again,
well,
it's about
if something is more dense than something else, we can agree that it will try to go down more, yes?
Yes.
Right, so why does it try to go down and not the other way?
Because that is relative density disequilibrium. If something is more dense than the medium it's in, then it will go down.
Why? Why down?
If
Why
something
not
is
the
less
other way?
dense, then it will go up.
You can say that over and over, but you have to give a reason why down. Why in the first place
Again,
are the more dense... No, that doesn't answer the question. Why in the first place are the things more dense down? Why does it need support from underneath to stop it from going down?
Well, how are you going to support something without support?
Well,
it needs support to support it.
But why down and not the other way? That's what you need to answer.
Because of support. I could ask you the same question about gravity. Why does gravity not make things go up instead of down?
Because that's not how gravity works, and we can go through that. That's
not how RDD works.
But there's a reason why gravity works that way. There isn't a reason why...
And there's a reason why RDD works that way.
No, there's not. There's absolutely not a reason why the more dense things are at the bottom. It does not explain it. Why, in the first place, does it have to have a support? Why, if that support isn't there, will it go down? What causes that movement to go down? Where is the force causing an acceleration? Where does it come from?
So you expect something to go down whether it has support or not?
No, that's not what I said. I said why, if it
That is
didn't have...
basically what you're saying.
No, it's really not. I said why, if it doesn't have support, does it go down? What causes
Because
that
it doesn't have
direction?
support, you've just said it.
Yeah, but why if the support's not there, does it go down? What's causing it to move?
Because there's no support.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Why would you expect something to go up? Like, if it's less sensible, why would you expect it to go up?
Because the buoyant force is the thing, which relies on gravity.
The buoyant force is not really a thing. Again, that's relative density disequilibrium.
No, the buoyant force is
less
100% a thing. It's absolutely a thing. As a submariner, you saying that buoyancy isn't a thing is quite insulting. Buoyancy was...
Okay.
You know, the ability to calculate buoyant forces literally decided where my submarine was. You know, you couldn't
do
do that with
understand
relative density
the buoyant force is
disequilibrium.
literally
And
relative
density
density.
disequilibrium cannot explain something like siphoning water from one level to another. What causes that to happen?
Can gravity explain that?
Yeah, absolutely, that can, yeah.
Okay, explain that with gravity.
It's causing a force, which makes an acceleration.
Sorry, gravity's not a force.
I didn't say gravity was a force, I said it causes a force.
What causes a force?
Gravity.
Gravity's not a force, so what
I didn't
causes
say
a force?
gravity was
You're
a
saying
force.
not
Did I say
force,
did I say gravity
No,
was a
you
force? I
didn't.
said gravity
No,
causes
you didn't.
a force. Gravity causes
okay,
a force.
so a non-force causes a force.
No, gravity's not a non-force. Gravity is an acceleration which
So
causes a force.
gravity is a force, yes?
No, gravity causes a force.
And how does gravity cause a force?
Because gravity is an acceleration.
And how can you have acceleration without a force when Newton's first and second law tells you that in order to have acceleration, you need a force?
You've just debunked yourself. So if you have an acceleration...
No, you
which,
debunked
no,
gravity, and you've
Rachie,
also debunked
Rachie, you
Newton's laws,
literally just
depending on which
debunked
way you
yourself,
want to look at
and
it.
you're too fucking stupid to realise that. You have an
Okay, go
acceleration.
ahead and tell
We
me.
know there is an acceleration because things accelerate.
Which means there has to be a force.
Yeah, now... Exactly,
Yeah,
so...
and gravity's not a force.
And never said gravity
Exactly,
was a
you
force.
debunked
Never said
yourself.
gravity was a force. Gravity is the acceleration,
Therefore,
the G.
you debunked yourself.
Do you want
Gravity's
to
not a
shut the
force.
fuck up and listen? You need to learn physics, so shut
Okay,
up and
go
listen,
on,
okay?
yeah.
Gravity is an acceleration. G. The acceleration due to gravity, roughly 9.8 meters per second squared on Earth. There is a mass. Anything has a mass. This lighter has a mass. It accelerates towards the ground. Acceleration times the mass equals force. The force
Can't have
caused by
acceleration without a
gravity.
force.
The acceleration is part of the force. The mass times
Can't have
acceleration
acceleration
equals
without a
force.
force.
That is the force. Mass times acceleration equals a force.
Yes, but how do you get the acceleration in the first place without a force?
Because of gravity. Gravity is the acceleration.
Gravity isn't a force. How do you
I didn't
get
say gravity was a force. I
I
said gravity was an acceleration. Do you have issues
Okay,
converting
listen.
short-term to long-term memory? Gravity
No,
is
you're just
an
not
acceleration.
listening.
Gravity causes a force. Stop saying gravity isn't
You're
a
just
force
not
because that
listening.
is a straw man of what we are trying to say. Gravity causes a force. The emergent force
Okay,
of
you ready for
gravity
this?
is caused by the
You
acceleration.
muted, I can't.
Okay, are you ready to carry on and stop being dumb by saying the same thing over and over? Have you ran away? Hello?
Okay, I missed a lot of that because for some reason it cut out. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. To repeat myself, stop strawmanning me
Okay.
by saying gravity's not a force, because I'm not saying gravity is a force. Gravity causes a force. The force, F, is caused by the acceleration due to gravity times the mass of an object. The same way that centrifugal force exists, that you can calculate because of a mass being accelerated. The force is a result of gravity. Gravity
Okay,
isn't
can I
a force,
speak now?
gravity causes a force. Do not strawman
Okay,
me.
can I speak now?
Yes.
Okay, please listen to me. When we have Newton's first and second laws, it says that an acceleration is caused by a force. You're saying gravity is an acceleration. Therefore, according to Newton's laws, it must be caused by a force. But it's not caused by a force, is it? There is no force. So therefore,
an
you
emergent
cannot have
force.
acceleration.
It's an emergent... Right,
Okay.
you have an acceleration and you have mass. If you have those two things, you have a force. You cannot deny there is an acceleration. You cannot deny
I'm not
there is a
saying-
mass. You cannot deny there is a mass. Therefore, there is a force. And to actually quote Einstein here, Einstein specifically said you can have an acceleration with a force, and indeed gravity is one example.
Okay, so again, what I was trying to say is, like for example, when you brought up centrifugal force, what is that caused by? It's caused by rotation, right?
Yes.
What causes a rotation? A
It's
force,
irrelevant.
right? No, it's a force. Does a force cause
What
rotation?
causes
yes or
the
no?
rotation is irrelevant to calculating centrifugal acceleration.
No,
and
it's not,
centrifugal
because the force is
Yes,
what
it absolutely
causes
is.
the
You do not need to know.
You're not letting me finish.
Well, don't be stupid. You do not need to know what
That's not being
causes a
stupid, it's not letting
rotation.
me finish.
You do not need to know what causes a rotation to
Of
calculate
course you do,
centrifugal
because
Why?
one cause
Right,
can have
show
an
me.
effect, which then causes something else, which then
Okay,
causes
show
an
me
effect.
in the
Again,
calculations for centrifugal force. One sec. Show me in the calculations for centrifugal force where specifically you have to put what causes the rotation. Where is that in the calculation?
Okay, first of all, can you have centrifugal force without a force, without rotation, without a force causing a rotation?
That's irrelevant.
No, it's not irrelevant. You're just ignoring the question.
No, it's completely irrelevant.
It's irrelevant.
Things rotate. Things rotate, right? And if something rotates,
because of a force.
Yeah, but that is not involved in the calculations for centrifugal force. You
well,
do not need
the rotation, you
wait, no, unless
force.
you can show me in the calculations for centrifugal force, specifically where I have to include what causes the rotation, you are wrong. You cannot just make shit up.
Okay, centrifugal force without force.
I didn't say you can have centrifugal force without a force.
Yes, because you cannot have something that accelerates without a force, which is what you're saying gravity is.
2 hours later.
Okay, is gravity a force, yes or no?
Let me interrupt here. We specifically brought Blue on because he has himself built a Cavendish experiment. So you have said it is a parlor trick, right? Which means that somehow Blue Marble Science is tricking us, right? So can you please tell us both in what way you think Blue Marble Science is tricking us to do this parlor trick?
Yeah, I'd like to. If I did, I didn't mean to. So tell me how I tricked you.
Yeah, I don't think you tricked me. What I think is that you are going with what they say, and you've built it the way they say it, pretty much. And you've done what they say, but the way that they built it is a parlor trick. But what I'm asking you, Blue Marble Science, is how can you have acceleration without a force?
And I think you've heard this about 50 times already tonight.
More.
That acceleration is what happens when you warp space-time.
But you're not answering the question.
When masses every mass warps space-time a little bit, right? Now, in the case of this Cavendish out here, I've got some 22-kilogram lead balls, and they warp space-time a lot more than the little 0.78 kilogram small balls that are part of that are on the torsion balance itself. But both masses. So
you are saying you can have acceleration without a force, correct?
And those gravity wells that are being created around both of those masses are warping space-time, pulling those two things together, accelerating those masses together. That's how it works.
So can you have acceleration without a force, yes or no?
Can you have an acceleration without a force? Can you have a force without an acceleration is the question.
No, the question is because Newton's law says that something will move at constant speed unless acted upon by a force. So again, can you have an acceleration?
No, wait. No, not acted upon by a force. This is very important. This is critical. Acted upon by an unbalanced...
Rachie, don't interrupt. Let Blue finish, please.
An unbalanced force, by definition, is an acceleration.
Right, so Newton's first and second law says in order to have an acceleration, you need a force. So, do you have a force for that acceleration, yes or no?
Do I have a force?
Simple yes or no answer.
Say it again.
Do you have a force for that acceleration, yes or no?
That acceleration is producing a force.
But Newton's first and second law says in order to have an acceleration, you need a force. So do you have a force, yes or no?
Again,
no, exactly. So therefore you don't have an acceleration.
Wait, stop. Right, we're going around the same things that I've schooled you on. Right, I brought Blue on specifically to talk about his... I really have. I brought Blue on to talk specifically about his Cavendish experiment, right? So you need to explain to us how this
parlor trick... And I'm asking him about it, but you're interrupting.
No, you're not asking him about it. You're asking him about Einsteinium and the Newtonian physics, right? We're talking specifically...
I'm asking him.
Right, wait, let me finish. We are talking specifically about the mechanics behind Blue Marble Science's Cavendish experiment, okay? So
exactly.
you are saying it's a parlor trick, so you need to explain to us how that parlor trick is achieved, specifically with maths to back up your assertions.
Which is what I'm doing. So again, can you have an acceleration without a force?
That's not telling us how the parlor trick
Yes, it is, because it's a parlor trick if you cannot have an acceleration.
Yeah, no, that's just making an assumption. Tell us how the parlor trick is done.
I've got a torsion beam out there, a torsion balance. It's 2 lead balls. They weigh about 780 grams each. They're hanging on a bar that's about 4 feet in length, a little over a meter in length, okay? And that bar is hanging from a torsion wire. The wire is 7/1000 of an inch diameter tungsten wire, and it's about 7/10 of a meter in length. Now that forms a torsion balance. And a torsion balance, Rachie, is a horizontal pendulum. That's what it amounts to. If it were a gravity pendulum vertically, then we could figure out the period of oscillation of that simply by the formula 2 pi times the square root of L over G, where L is the length of the pendulum and G is little g, our gravitational acceleration. But with a torsion balance, it doesn't have little g anymore. It has to have something else. And the something else is the restoring force, the torque that's in the wire. So we have almost the same equation, except it's 2 pi times the square root of I over K, where I is the moment of inertia of that beam, and K is the torsional constant, okay? Now, with that thing hanging, and the big mass is not anywhere near the little ones, in fact, in a neutral position where they're equidistant, away from both of the small masses, the torsion balance will hang virtually motionless, pretty much centered right there in that enclosure that it's in. But when I move those large masses, I don't touch the enclosure at all. Nothing touches it. When I move those large masses in close proximity to that enclosure, the torsion balance rotates in whichever direction the big balls are positioned. It'll rotate in that direction towards them. And when I reverse the big balls, it rotates the opposite direction. It's not a trick. That's what happens. And I've done it a lot of times. There are hundreds of hours of video out there, live stream that I've done, showing this thing doing it.
So my question to you,
I'm not sure if I missed.
my question to you, Rachie, would be what causes that acceleration?
Right.
Okay, I'd just like to say that Blue Marble Science was breaking up, so therefore I couldn't hear like what he was saying because it went pretty much quiet. But again, you can't have acceleration without a force according to Newton, so how do you explain that? Are you there? Can you hear me?
We've been all through that. We've been all, yeah, I hear you.
We've been through that.
We've
Right.
already gone all through that, Rachie.
Right, now,
Yeah,
my
what you
question
have
to
to
you,
explain.
Rachie, is what is causing that acceleration of the smaller masses towards the larger masses? What is actually causing that, in reality?
You yourself are saying you can't have an acceleration without a force. Yet, those balls are accelerating. The small ones are accelerating toward the large ones. Something that appears to be a force is acting on that balance. That something is gravity. Now, the more elegant explanation of it is the warping of space-time.
A more
But
accurate
for practical
explanation.
purposes,
Hello, are you
for
there?
practical purposes, we just continue. We consider it to be acts like a force.
We are here, Rachie. Are
Because
you
it
not
does.
listening to anything we're saying?
Yes, but I exited the call so that I could rejoin because I couldn't hear what you were saying as you was breaking up, so I decided to rejoin.
Okay, right. The long and short of it is that the question that comes from Blue's experiment is what is causing the acceleration of the smaller masses towards the larger masses? In reality, what's
That's
causing it?
that's exactly what I want to know when you haven't got a force for it.
But our explanation is gravity. What is your explanation for that happening?
Right, but gravity isn't a force, and Newton's law says that you can't have acceleration without a force.
Right. So if gravity isn't a thing, as you're claiming, what is causing that acceleration?
Well, that's the thing, ain't it? You can't have acceleration without a force. So
I'm not talking to you.
that.
Just simply answer the question. What is causing that acceleration?
Can you have acceleration without a force?
Rachie,
According to Newton's
Rachie,
law.
I'm asking you a question. What is causing?
Yes, you
that
are, and I'm asking you one back.
No, yeah, but I just want you to answer the question, right? If gravity isn't a thing that can do anything, what is causing that acceleration?
Well, I don't know, because unfortunately you don't have a force for gravity, so it's definitely not gravity, is it?
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
You Globers always disagree with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Why is he getting paid so much money to be wrong all the time?
Cool. Is Neil deGrasse Tyson here?
Well, he gets paid a lot of money to be wrong all the time, according to you people.
I
the
never
point
bring
of
up Neil
paying
deGrasse
so much
Tyson.
money to be wrong?
Not according to you people.
Yeah, I do.
You are the ones that are bringing up Neil deGrasse Tyson. So again, I am literally showing you real
Because
footage.
He represents you.
No, he doesn't. I don't have a representative.
Yes, he
thank
does.
you.
He represents the globe. Yes,
No,
he
he
does.
doesn't. Thank you.
But it's amazing how you all disagree with the globe representative, isn't it?
He's not a globe representative. You're just making stuff up. So once
Yes,
again,
he's a flat Earth representative, then, yeah?
So I am showing you real footage of them landing on the moon.
No, you're not. You're showing animation.
This is not an animation.
Yes, it is. Buzz tells you it is.
No, he's not talking about the walking around. He's talking about, a little tiny cartoon of something, the lander moving through space, not the actual them stepping out onto the moon. This is real footage.
They never went to the moon?
Well, except there's real footage of it here.
No, there's not. That's fake footage. Prove that's real.
So you say? No, I don't
Prove
have to
it's real?
You're the one claiming it's
No,
fake.
no, you don't have to prove your claims, do you?
Oh, well, it was filmed on real cameras and stuff.
Yeah, you can claim it's real, prove it's real.
No, you're the one that's making the claim that it's fake.
A claim without evidence
my
can be
evidence,
dismissed without
my
evidence.
evidence is this video.
Your evidence is that, exactly. So prove it's real.
It's there, right in front of you, and there's plenty of other tapes
Prove
that back
it's
it up.
real.
All the other tapes that back it
Can you
up.
prove it's real?
Yeah, it's a
Can you
real
prove
tape.
it's real?
It's a real video.
Yes, prove it then.
No, you're the one claiming it's fake. You would have to
No, you
demonstrate
can't
it's
prove
fake.
it, can you? You can't prove it because it's
Burden of
fake.
proof is on you. This is my evidence.
No,
you
you're
can't say
making the
prove
claim
your
that it's
evidence.
real.
No, you can't say
You're
prove your evidence is
making
real.
your claim
No,
that
you
that
can't
is
say prove.
evidence.
No, you are moving the goalpost by saying no. You need
No,
to now
I'm
prove
not.
your. Yes, you are. By now saying. You
No,
need
that's
to...
your evidence.
Shut
Prove
up.
it's real.
You are saying
Your
that...
claim, prove it's real.
No, my evidence shows that the claim is real. You saying show that the evidence for your evidence
Evidence,
is
put it out
real
of video.
is moving the
Wow.
goalposts.
Yeah, Bigfoot and Loch Ness is real then, yeah.
Yeah, but there's no actual
There's
negative
video and
stuff for that.
photos of that too, isn't there?
Yeah. So I don't care if you think it's fake. It's real, and you can't prove otherwise. And the burden of proof lies with you, not me.
And you can't prove it's real. The burden
I absolutely can prove it's real because there's data backing it up.
Oh, sorry. When I went to the moon, don't you remember they lost all the telemetry data?
No, they didn't. That's also wrong.
Yes, they did. Oh, so nobody said that they lost the telemetry data. I can show you a video proving that wrong too.
So here's what happened.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine how many times I can prove you wrong, isn't it?
Well, you're not wrong because I'm not wrong. Sorry,
I'm not wrong exactly. Thank you.
I'm not wrong. You are just being stupid. So do you want to know what actually
I'm
happened?
not wrong. Yeah,
do you want to know what happened with the data, Rachie? Do you want to know what happened with the data?
I lost it.
Do you want to know what? No, they didn't lose it. Do you want to know what happened? There is no lost data. Do you want to know what happened? Do you want the explanation or not?
Go ahead.
Right? Can you be quiet whilst I'm explaining and not interrupt?
Yes.
Are you capable of doing that?
Yes.
Right. So when they were recording the data, they only had a limited amount of tapes. So once the data was recorded onto the tapes, they then backed up that data onto other tapes and sent it places. Right? There was always backups. As was standard at the time, they would reuse the physical media storage and record over what was there. So the original data was recorded over, and therefore it wasn't on that anymore. But the original data had already been backed up and sent to other places, meaning that no data was lost. All of the data for all the moon landings is available. What isn't available is the original recordings, because they were recorded over as was standard procedure at the time. Do you understand?
So probably the greatest feat in human history got deleted or recorded over because why? Why did they delete the most amazing mankind?
Because they'd already backed it up. They already had the footage backed up.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, they already had.
They even said they lost the telemetry data.
Yeah, the original tapes. Yeah.
The telemetry data, yeah.
The original tapes, yeah.
Amazing. One of the most amazing
it had already
things in history,
Rachie,
and they lost
Rachie, listen. All of the data was backed up. All of it. Every single bit of data was backed up. There is no missing data. Do you understand?
Yes, there is. Do you want me to do a video proving you wrong about that too?
All of the data was backed up. Do you understand?
Do you want me to do a video proving you wrong about that too?
Do you understand that all of the data was backed up? Yes or no?
No, again, do you want me to do your video proving you wrong?
Oh, please do, because your Flirts Are Idiots video is going to be spectacular.
Yeah, FTFE video is going to be amazing and spectacular.
Yeah, so 3.5 people will watch yours, whereas maybe 40,000-50,000 will watch mine.
Yeah, and they all agree with you. Why? And you know what
because
they
I'm
don't
right.
as well about fools.
Because they agree with me because I'm right. So, again, all of the data,
you're not right.
all of the data was backed up. All of it. You can simply go and look this up.
They lost the telemetry data. There's literally a NASA person who says that they lost the telemetry data, but
the original data, yes. The original data, yes.
Yes, the original data, yes. The fake data,
the stuff was backed up,
data,
though. But it was backed up, so that's fine.
No, they lost the original telemetry data.
Yeah,
one of the most
but it was backed up.
amazing things in human history, and they lost it.
They didn't, though, because it was backed up.
It's amazing how they can lose something so precious and so amazing.
They didn't lose it, it was backed up. So, right.
No.
Here we go. I'm going to read you from NASA, alright? Okay, so with the 50th anniversary of Apollo 11 moon landing approaching, reports have resurfaced that NASA lost some precious video footage of that first moonwalk. Before diving into the details of the two distinct events, they seem to have been conflated. It's worth emphasizing 3 key points. NASA searched for but could not locate some of the original Apollo 11 data tapes. Original in the sense that they were directly recorded. Listen, original in the sense that they directly recorded data transmitted from the moon. And
exactly.
Will you stop saying exactly and just listen?
You're basically making my point for me. Well done.
Maybe if you actually read the entire thing. I'm going to mute you while I read this because you're incapable of shutting up. Right, An intensive search of archives and records concluded that the most likely scenario was the program managers determined there was no longer a need to keep the tapes since all the video and data were recorded elsewhere. Let me say that again. Since all the video and data were recorded elsewhere, and then they were erased and reused. The data on those tapes, including video data, were relayed to the Manned Spacecraft Center during the mission. The video was recorded there and in other locations. There is no missing video footage from the Apollo 11 moonwalk. The search discovered high-quality broadcast versions of the footage. NASA worked with Lowry Digital, a premier film restoration company, to process the video using techniques unavailable in 1969. The restored video was released in HD as part of the 40th anniversary of Apollo 11. I'm going to read this bit again. There is no missing video footage from the Apollo 11 moonwalks. So, please tell me in what way that backs you up.
So you believe everything you read now, yeah, FTFE?
You apparently do.
No, you're the one that's reading it and believing it.
Yeah, this is
and
the
yet
source.
You've got a literal NASA personnel, a literal NASA employee saying that they lost the telemetry data, and you're disagreeing with that person, aren't you?
Yeah, they lost the original.
Who works for NASA, but you want to believe some words on paper. Well, not even on paper.
This is NASA's words here. Again,
Yeah, you know
they lost
NASA also says the moon goes in the dark?
they lost the original. The original.
Believe everything NASA says, yeah.
I don't need to believe, they demonstrate that things are true.
Do you believe everything that NASA says, yes or no?
Okay, no, you're not moving the goalposts. We're
No,
talking
I'm not
about the
moving the
data.
goalposts. You just can't
We're
answer the
talking about
question.
we're talking about the data that you say was all lost, yet NASA say it wasn't
Yeah,
lost.
which
So
a
what do you
NASA
say?
employee says. Are you denying what a NASA employee says?
No, not at all.
You
But he
kept
says
calling the NASA employee
No,
a
but
liar.
the NASA
You wanna
employee
believe what
simply
somebody
says
wrote about NASA?
the NASA employee simply says that the original things were lost. He doesn't say that all the
No, he
data
says
was
the
lost.
telemetry data was lost, actually.
The original
He doesn't say
telemetry
original,
data,
he says the
yes.
telemetry data. The
Yeah, but
telemetry. He
the
doesn't say
original
original, he
tapes.
says the telemetry.
And
He doesn't
when
say original.
have you
Where does he
listened?
say
Have
original
you
in it?
listened to the entire thing?
Yes, and he
Where
says
he
the
talks about
telemetry data
where
was
he
lost.
literally talks
Nowhere
about
does he say
where he
it was
literally
original.
where that same NASA employee literally talks about the data tapes.
Yeah, telemetry data, and he doesn't
Yeah.
say anything about original. You can make
Yeah.
it up all you want, but it doesn't
Yeah.
say original anywhere in it. And again, I can prove you wrong about that too.
Yeah, so you're just ignoring what NASA say. That's fine.
So you're just believing everything NASA says, that's fine.
Well, the claim is about NASA, so we're going to listen to what NASA
You know
says.
what they say, don't you, about appeal to authority?
Don't need to appeal to authority. This is
Appeal
we're
to
talking.
authority is
It's
what
not.
you
This is
do.
not an appeal to authority. We are talking about that
Yes, it
specific
is.
thing.
Yes,
No,
it
it's not.
is.
No, it's not. We are talking about
Yes,
that.
it is. You're
No, it's
appealing
not.
to NASA.
No, it's not.
The
No, it's
people
not.
that
No,
lie,
it's not.
the
No, it's
people
not.
that
Shut up.
lost
No, it's not. It's not.
the
Shut up. Shut up. It's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's not an appeal to authority because we are specifically
Yes,
talking
it is.
about. Don't interrupt me when I'm talking. It's not an appeal to authority because we are specifically talking about that thing, so I can absolutely cite that thing. It is not
And I
an
can
appeal to
cite a
authority.
NASA employee saying they lost the telemetry data. No
Yep,
original
but he's
in
only
it.
talking
They
about the
lost
original tapes.
telemetry
That's
data.
it. He is only talking about the
No.
original tapes.
No, he's talking about the telemetry data. No, where does
Yep.
he say original?
And it was all backed up.
Yeah, show me where he says original.
It was all backed up.
Show me where he says original.
In the actual thing, he's talking about
Oh,
where
what's the
the
matter?
data
You
came
can't
from.
show me where he says original because you're
Yeah,
lying
I
again.
literally just showed you where NASA said the original tapes.
Show me where the employee that talks about the telemetry data says that it was original.
I'm going to show you
Oh,
this
Google
again.
search.
I'm going to show you this again, where it actually
Yeah,
explains
that's
it.
not that is not the employee from NASA talking
This is a
about
NASA employee,
telemetry
though.
data, is it?
This
That
is a
written
NASA
words.
employee.
Hey,
This is a NASA
so you believe
employee.
NASA words?
This
yeah?
is a NASA
Well,
employee.
NASA words also saying
This is a
Einstein was
NASA
super
employee,
easy.
though. This is a NASA employee, though.
Yeah. Well, NASA says just like Einstein superseding Newton, somebody will come along and supersede Einstein. So I guess you believe that too, then, yeah?
No one
Do you want me
supersedes
to show you a
anyone.
video about that too?
You
want
can
me to
show
show you a
me,
video
look,
about that
Rachie, you can show me videos to the cows come home. You
Yeah, I
being
will. There's
ignorant
about,
about
what, 5, 6
understanding.
videos
Shut up!
there that I'm gonna prove you wrong about?
Rachie, you being ignorant about understanding these videos does not prove anything. Just shows that you are fucking ignorant, right?
He did not say original. You cannot show me you said original
Yeah,
because you
but
were
I
lying.
literally just showed you something NASA that says
Yeah,
that. So
no
it's
original
cool.
said because you're
Yeah.
lying. You can say original all you want and add words in all you want. That's
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because the data was all backed up. Whether you want to agree with that or not, it doesn't matter. The data was all backed up. No, I'm thick as shit. Right, no, okay, stop. Right, next thing is that you get 2 minutes to have a final word, and then I'm going to read the super chats. So, 2 minutes, final word.
Final word, well, you forgot everything that I had written down. That proves you wrong.
You haven't
you
proved
wanted to
anything
talk
wrong.
about gravity so much.
Two words, 2 minutes, on you go. Anything.
2 minutes, okay. Well, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, bye.